or Jerry. Whatever. And that level is another one-way gauntlet. But we need to get into the Dark World somehow. And this is the only way we'll be able to do it. What am I doing? There's nothing here. Trying to think. Doing this will give me access to Dungeon 1. And that's about it. I can't beat Dungeon 1 without the hammer. I mean, I might... Dungeon 1 is definitely the most important dungeon, the one I would like to tackle as soon as possible, because it has the most extraneous chests out of any dungeon in the game. Followed by Dungeon 4, Thieves' Hideout. Then I think it's Dungeon 7. Ow. God, those guys are fast. This, while yes, it does have chests, it has exactly the amount of chests you need to get the keys. Let's see. To beat Dungeon 2, I need the hammer. And honestly, that's it. Oh wait, the hookshot. Derp. How did I forget that? To beat Dungeon 3, you need the fire rod. For Dungeon 4, I could technically beat it with the equipment I have. I just need to get into it. And I do need the hammer to get 100% in it. Die! Also, by the way, because we won't get an opportunity to see this, if I didn't have the lamp, these rooms in the Dark World would be totally dark. Like, I would not be able to see jack shit. And I'd be forced to memorize these rooms, kind of. I don't think the emulator or the ROM would force you to do that, but who the hell knows? That's why I say the lamp isn't optional. I mean, technically you could get through these rooms if you memorize closely enough, but I don't have that kind of patience. Because the dark rooms are kind of not my favorites. I mean, in the light world, I'd see fine without the lamp. Because that was hacked into the ROM. And yes, if I haven't made mention of it enough, I am playing this on a ROM, even though I do have A Link to the Past on cartridge and an actual working Super Nintendo. I actually have multiple working Super Nintendos. I'm kind of a retro collector. I'm playing this on an emulator because you can't put this on a cartridge, or at the very least you'd have to do it repeatedly, because it's a program that generates the randomized ROM. I hear and this isn't the only randomized ROM out there. Randomized Pokemon is pretty popular, which I might give a go at some point. Let's see. And there's also, within the Zelda series, the first game is also randomized, as is Majora's Mask, but to play randomized Majora's Mask, you need to know the glitches. Like the mirror trick I showed you, it's just a stupid novelty. It's not required, and it's barely useful. And I really don't want to do any challenges where glitches are absolutely mandatory to do it. I find glitches, I don't know. Sometimes they're hard to execute beyond my means. Like, these challenges are more going to be challenges of figuring things out more than challenges of dexterity. They're puzzles that can be solved. Not bosses or foes to vanquish. I mean, a Majora's Mask 3-day challenge, that's kind of both. Like, the thing I'm worried about is the challenge of execution. I'm gonna do that eventually, but, like, when I say eventually, I do mean eventually. It's not gonna be in my first few batches of challenges. And if you're wondering, no, that's not possible in the new 3DS version of it. It's only possible in the N64 or GameCube version of the game. And like most Zelda fans, you gotta fight this guy with the bug-catching net. I mean, technically, you're supposed to have the Master Sword. But, if you have it, why not use it, right? It's not going to see much use in this entire run. So, I'd like to give it some use here. Also, he's easier. This is like the easiest boss in the game, and he's even easier in the Japanese version of the ROM, because he doesn't have his... He doesn't shoot the orbs that explode. Also, he really telegraphs his attacks. Like, I've never been hit by that, and I don't know anyone who has. It's very easy to dodge. I mean, sometimes they don't go back to him, but it's very easy to get through this fight without any damage. I mean, sometimes it happens. But he's not tough. I just need better aim. I need very better aim. Okay. It's much better if I'm hitting him from below. And he's dead. Off to the Dark World. Let's do this. Okay, permanent access to the Dark World. Now we can actually get started. That was a lag spike. Hopefully they don't happen too much. Okay. Now, keep in mind, I don't have the Master Sword. While I do have plenty of health, which is good, it's generally not worth trying to kill anything. Let's see, can I get over there by swimming? That's my question. Let's see. If I can get over there by swimming, I can do a bunch of extra shit. It does not look like it, no. Okay, so then our only option is Dungeon 1. If I can get over to the other side of the river, which would require the hook shot, so much more is open to us. Yeah. Right now, it's more or less a stealth mission. I gotta not get hit by anything, and I gotta avoid things. And once again, I just gotta say, the Dark World music is beautiful. Like, I would say this is my favorite track of all of Zelda. There are a few that come close from, like, Majora's Mask, the Stone Tower song, and the Song of Healing, but this one is hard to beat. What do you got for me? 10 arrows. Also, by the way, if you're playing this randomized, you cannot get stuck in the Dark World. If you don't have the Moon Pearl or the Mirror, it won't give you the option to start on the Pyramid. It'll give you a Light World start option, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, I need the hammer or the hook shot before I can go anywhere. Like, now that I have the Moon Pearl, the hammer is priority number 1. Once again, I say priority like it means anything. Sorry about that. It's just something Fraps seems to do, and I can't figure out why. I mean, it's been very merciful and very lenient in this playthrough. I've had some of the practice runs that became practice runs because Fraps wouldn't stop lagging like crazy. No, and if you're wondering, I have plenty of space on my hard drive. I've reduced the usage of all external programs. Internet browser isn't open. Everything else is on mute. Nothing else is happening. Let's see, my strongest weapon is probably the bow. That probably does more damage than my sword. Yeah. Okay, so we go through here. And we take Kiki to the... Yeah, you see, if we didn't have the Moon Pearl, Kiki would not appear to us. And our first death. This is because Kiki is racist against bunnies. I guess. I mean, it is possible to get to this stage and be a rabbit in the base game, if you don't find the Moon Pearl, because that is technically optional until this point. Right now, the only thing we can do is get into the Darkness Palace, which means I really hope we can find something. I mean, I don't think I can get to the boss without the hammer, but I certainly can beat him without the hammer. You can use the bow instead. And yeah, I did die. It's very possible to die a lot, especially in the Dark World when you don't got the fucking Master Sword. But who knows, maybe we'll find one of the males by the time we're done with this. That would be very nice. I am almost out of arrows, and that's not going to be good. Wait, I have a magic cape. Kiki will okay. Yeah. Gotta use the items you have, you know? Use your tools. And that's all the rupees you mandatorily need to beat the game. A measly 610.